Right, so what you saw there was a perfect example of Japanese service and courtesy. I'm telling you, that's the sort of reaction and response we get from every single local here. What we're doing today is heading over to the Olympic Stadium. Of course, we're in a cab as opposed to a bus. We will be trying, of course, to get additional interviews and content from some of the athletes that might not have been at the training session that we were at yesterday. So let's hope it's a good one.
Competitions start in 2 days' time, and the athletes are preparing for an outstanding championship Olympics. We are here in the stadium now, going to Technical Information Center and all the areas to which we'll have to seek information and data during the championship. For instance, if we have protests, we'll have to go to first place to get the information and then file our protest. So we are going to all those areas where we will need to go to make sure athletes are fully serviced in all areas that they have to deal with. Yesterday, we appointed our team captains, female Shelley and Fraser Price, and male Johan Blake.
What's the vibe like in the camp now?
The vibe in the camp is good. I think despite the COVID problems associated with COVID, and I say problems because it necessitates our having to go through a lot of processes, unfamiliar processes, and time-consuming activities, especially at the airport area. But we are hoping, and everybody has to do it, so we'll ensure that whatever is required by the Jamaican athletes is available so that we can have an outstanding Olympics.
How pleased are you with your preparations coming into the championships? It's been an interesting season for you. You're ending it away from where you started it. Just tell us about that transition and how your preparation have taken on since then.
As I say, a very rough season. Transition surprisingly went really well. I mean, I had wanted to make this transition for some time now, but I thought things would have gotten better, but they didn't. So I had to make the rough choice of switching club in an Olympic year at more than half of the season. It worked out. I mean, I talked with me and O'Keel talked a lot. We sit and went over what I did before I came here, and put in some work, and we're here. I could care less what a lot of people think. I mean, at the end of the day, when I'm out there training in the mornings, I've never seen any of them that has passed any form of criticism against Jamaican athletes, cheering us on, carrying a bottle of water. So it's all about me. It's all about the persons that are closest to me and have been supporting me over the years. So regardless of who wants to say Jamaican athletes are this or that or we are falling behind, that's just their opinion. Right now my main focus is to put the race together. Like at trials, I was finishing well throughout the heats and the semis, and then in the finals I started really well, and then I didn't really accelerate after the start and start moving away like how I was finishing in the semi. So for me now is to get the mind right so I could mesh everything in one, the start and finish like a train, like how I know I can, because like I have a really good top end right now. So it's just to put everything together, and that's all has to do with the mental.
Here, McLeod, I know you returned a positive on a 72-hour test. But there's some confusion over whether or not he will be able to compete once he returns with a negative test. Can you clear it up?
Latest information is that he should be arriving within 2 days. Not quite sure, but I think that's the latest information.
You're a man of experience. You have done so many of these championships. Just how challenging is this one with all that's required compared to those before?
This one is the most challenging ever, and I say this because of COVID, lot of processes, lots of applications. The most difficult part of it is the entry system. Normally we would have had 6 people for the relay pool. Now it's 5. So in our case, we have 3 athletes, 100-meter men, 100-meter women, I told them it will have the same identical athletes. So they will now be competing in the 100 and the 200. And then the day, 2 days after the 200, they require to run in the 4x1 relay. What has happened now is that we have only 5 and the 4. So we have another athlete, Natasha Morrison, who's an outstanding athlete and has done well, been part of successful relay team. She plays 6, but she now has to be treated as an AP, that's an alternate. So she cannot live in the village. She has to stay at a hotel. Expenses outside of the Olympic now, expenses to the Federation, the Olympic Association have to pay for that. And so we have forces athletes who would have been part of the village team. But that has created further financial difficulties, logistic difficulties in terms of having to collect them in the morning from the hotel, take them to the stadium, and further having to take them back in the evening, provide food separately outside of the village arrangements. So it has created a lot of difficulties in terms of the logistics of those APs would not normally be APs in previous Olympics. And the fact is that it has affected us badly in terms of our relay preparation because we only have 5 and the 3 young ladies will be running 100 and 200. So that has created a further problem for us.